We are live. It is May 13th, 2022. Things were getting spicy backstage. I just had to start the show. It was getting nuts back there. I got Zero Cool. I got Dennis. I got EM Tech. Welcome, gents.
Thank you for having us. And for anybody that's coming in that's watched the show before, you know when me and Z are cool together, it's like mixing oil and vinegar.
Good evening, SMT Nation.
Freaking oil and vinegar, man. EM Tech, it's been a while, man. It's been a while since we had you on the show, but you've been on a couple of times. Zero Cool's been on. Dennis is a staple of the show, so we're glad to have you all. We got Running Flame in the house. We got Geller. Tech Guy is here. We got some people already popping in. I see 35 in the live. Hashtag 2Live Crew for everyone watching this at the live broadcast. And then for those of you watching this on replay, hashtag Replay Crew. We got some others just joining here. We got Mod Squad. We got Baby Yoda. Mojo's in the house. We got Gallup Properties. Viv is here. Jose, my brother. We got Eric, Ron, Chris. Good to have you all. So, the story, man, I went ahead and I just decided to title it part of the show. T-Mobile touts 99% coverage claim, but it's for LTE, not 5G. Kind of the caveat there. What do you guys think of that? Like, just right off the rip, face value. What do you think?
I think it's worse than selling wolf tickets, and their LTE network was the worst part of their network. So try again, T-Mobile.
Wow.
I don't necessarily agree with the claim because I know for a fact that Verizon has way more tower density. So I think the claim is they must have got paid a lot for the claim, or whoever's I don't know, something's happening, but yeah, it's I just we don't go by we don't go by claims, right? We go by facts. So that's and the fact is there's other providers that have more density. So
in the fine print in like -1 font, it just says like 99% coverage in this small part of New York City, downtown Manhattan. My joke wasn't funny, but anyway, look, when we were talking behind the scenes, I asked Zero Cool to name me one state where T-Mobile has the claim, and I'm not letting him backtrack on this. The audience needs to hear this. He told me California. To anyone that lives in California and takes the highway going up to Seattle, you'll know there are large coverage gaps that T-Mobile has. And I'll just say this. I'll put it on blast for record to call a spade a spade. There's not a single network in the U.S. that actually covers 99% coverage in a singular state. Even if you combine them all, California wouldn't have it.
Well, I think I know where they're going with this 98% of Americans. I'm actually reading this article right here. It's, I think it definitely has to do with the pops. They're basing this off pops. They have to be, right? That's the only logical reasoning of why they would say 99%. It's the pops, so not square miles of coverage. So if they say 99% of pops, can we agree on that, or is that still enough? No? Okay. All right, just throwing it out.
Yeah, I was going to say the only way I would agree on it is if T-Mobile was basing it off of who can see their advertisements. That's the only way I'd believe it.
All right.
And to be fair, just to clarify here, I'm saying that against every single carrier, not just T-Mobile. But T-Mobile's the one making the claim, so that's why they're getting my ire right now. But EM Tech, you're being quiet in the corner. What are your thoughts?
We've always said T-Mobile's a marketing company first. So this is par for the course. I'm not buying any of these third-party studies. I mean, realistically, it's all about the average user experience and what we see day to day. It's just a headline.
What I like to, I'm not sure if AT&T still does this, but I always liked. I think actually both Verizon and AT&T still do this or used to do this. What they would do is they would take a particular market and they would give a count. They would give a count of the number of cell sites added in a particular quarter. They say, like, for example, I don't know, like in Detroit, Michigan, we added such and such cell sites. This improves the coverage by this percent. This improves speed by this percent. They're pretty much market reports. I much agree with that approach better than a whole we cover 99%. So,
side note, we have to show some gratitude. We got a super chat coming in from Cellular Entertainment.
Gellert's in the house. What up, Gabe?
I totally butchered the name. I'm sorry. Gellert. He came in with a $2 super chat asking, do you know when you'll do a Patreon stream? And I'm assuming that's start date you, Sneed.
Yep, we're gonna do one this Sunday actually, and I'll be sending out the invite to the Patreon crew. So be on the lookout for that link. I'll probably post it like an hour or two before the show. We'll probably do it Sunday at like maybe 7 or 8. I try to find a good time that's works with the most people. So we'll try for like 8 p.m. Sunday night. Thanks, Gal. Appreciate it, man. Okay.
Also, Sneed, you've been the most quiet. I want to hear your thoughts on the claim.
Well, what I want to do is I want to pick apart the claim. See, everything always depends on the framing. There's a lot of claims you could make, and the wordplay is really important. You get what I'm saying, Dennis? Like, it's kind of like stipulations. Like, let me give you an example. Have you ever watched Muppet Babies?
I have not.
Okay, anybody ever watch the cartoon, the Muppets and stuff? Zero Cool, EM, you guys remember that?
I mean, like, not since I was a kid. And
Okay, but you remember the characters, Kermit the Frog and everybody, right?
Oh, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
remember live coming to you from the streets of whatever, Kermit the Frog, he'd be reporting in the trench coat and all that. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Whatever.
Yep,
Hey,
I
remember his
it.
girlfd?
Like, was it a pig?
Yeah, it was Miss Piggy. See, you do know. You lying ass, bro.
Well,
right,
listen, I never heard it called Muppet Babies. If you said, yeah, do you know who Kermit the Frog is? Yeah, he's
I was barely allowed to watch Bobby's World. So.
Muppet Babies.
I was more of a Barney kid. Okay?
All right, so hear me out on this, right? The conversation can go like this. His girlfriend was Miss Piggy, right? Miss Piggy, to me, when I looked at her, was a pig. You put lipstick, you could put a wig, you could put a dress on her. You could do all those things. To me, all I saw was a pig. A man once told me Miss Piggy was a world-class entertainer. See, so it depends on how you look at it, depends on how you frame it. I guess he wasn't wrong. She technically is a world-class entertainer. Everybody knows Miss Piggy. To me, she's a pig. To him, a world-class entertainer. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So does that make T-Mobile the best network in the U.S.?
No, that makes T-Mobile Miss Piggy. All right, let me break it down. Let me do this. Let me do a screen share. We'll go over the elements and we'll see how well this claim holds up because it needs an analysis.
All right, I'll try to get this thing.
Let's see if this thing is sharing yet. Let's see. And it should be. Okay, there we go.
All right.
Okay, T-Mobile touts 99% coverage claim. But it is for LTE, not 5G. Let me go ahead and link this. If you guys want to peep this out at a later time, you can, or if you want to pull it up now on another device or whatever, you guys can do that. All right, so this is actually dated from today, May 13th. And it says here that T-Mobile is claiming 99% of coverage of Americans with LTE. All right, so you guys brought up a good point. You, at least Dennis for sure, he said, LTE, and that was their weakest effort, right? Like they finished last place in LTE. They clearly wanted to get ahead in 5G, and they got the opportunity to do that with the merger. And, and in all honesty, there was never a point I can remember anywhere where I ever tested networking where T-Mobile's LTE was as good as Verizon's, for that matter, let alone AT&T's. I always thought AT&T's was better too. It says here that the claim, which is going up all over billboards across the country, nice and old school advertisement there. The picture here is from Walla Walla, Washington, or Lawrence, Kansas. I forget what it is. Goes on to say back in 2017, T-Mobile's Neville Ray declared that T-Mobile's LTE coverage gap with Verizon was a thing of the past. The claim is that T-Mobile covers at least 99% as many people as Verizon. That is trouble. That statement right there, and I don't know, man. That is a tough claim because we all know the Verizon LTE network is a legendary network that's a conglomerate of Verizon's native coverage, plus all the acquisitions that they, had throughout the last decade or so.
Let's pause right there at that for just a second. Verizon can't even claim they cover 99% of people in the U.S. So if T-Mobile is saying that they cover 99% as many people as Verizon, and Verizon can't say the claim, then one of these things can't be true. Also, just pointing something out here, and this is just to call a spade a spade. A good chunk of Verizon's coverage is actually roaming Sneed, like
Well,
U.S. Cellular and stuff like that.
well, I mean, I'm not here to argue that, Dennis. I understand. But this maybe the way they're framing it is like this here. It says T-Mobile is committed to providing 5G to 99% of the U.S. population within 6 years of its merger with Sprint. So presumably in a few years, the LTE on those billboards can be switched to 5G. So what is it? Are they really going to sit here and try to drive home some point about LTE when the future is in 5G? Like, what are you trying to win here? I mean, whether it's native or not, like, I don't know. I've never heard a truck driver say, "Oh man, I'm just gonna leave my Verizon behind. I could just go with T-Mobile." Like that doesn't happen.
That's like saying a truck driver has driven 99% of America.
But you get what I'm saying, Zero Cool? Like
Yeah,
that's
I do. Yeah.
like when you hear the conversations from truckers, those are the most interesting perspectives because they drive
Right.
so much of the space. I mean, they're taking roadways that don't get a lot of traffic, don't have a lot of people, little towns. They're just driving through the interstate. And I mean, a lot of people tell me the same thing in a lot of my videos. I'm a truck driver. I have Verizon.
Mhm.
T-Mobile's fast in the cities and they struggle on stretches of, the freeway, that are out there and off the beaten path. That continues to be the Achilles heel of the T-Mobile network.
I just think all three carriers are guilty of marketing. I think this is just marketing. It's to say what you want to say to get people in the door. Why don't they just say we have 99.9 of the U.S. population?
Yeah, but Zero Cool, there's marketing and like exaggeration, and there's just flat out falsehoods.
What do you think the marketing team does? They exaggerate.
But this is beyond an exaggeration because this is something that can be measured empirically. You can literally go and count, okay, what is the pop count for T-Mobile versus the pop count that's uncovered? And unless T-Mobile's covering at least like 330 million Americans, because I think there's 340 in the country. So unless they're covering 330 million people, this claim is just outright false.
I just it would be better to me if carriers would be like, we have X amount of coverage proven by this or shown by this study, blah blah blah, right? But they don't do that. That's what I'd like to see. They kind of like allude to the carriers allude to they allude to root metrics, or they allude to ookla, whatever. But if you're going to make a claim like that, you need to back up with data, right? So
you're cool. I'll bet you some scallops that they end up having to pull that claim.
Like NAD style, how they got to make them retract it.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been reporting that for like the last year or two, the claims. And like the NAD will like recommend to a carrier, hey, you got to change the wording on this. You can't prove this. Your study doesn't indicate this, and then they make them change it.
Usually the NAD is only focused on commercials that are shown on TV. They really don't. If there's like an article just like this, I don't think they really care about it.
Well, there's billboards up. T-Mobile put billboards up. It says it in the article.
Yeah. If anybody can find a billboard, tweet it. Let me know.
All right. Well, here's some of this other verbiage. 99% of the people in America, rather than saying it covers 99% of America, it is a bold statement since even assuming that they do cover 99% of all urban and suburban and major travel corridors of the network, I struggle to see how that adds up to 99% of Americans, since according to the U.S. government, 14% of Americans, or 46 million residents, live in rural America. There's your math breakdown. There's a lot of people out there in rural that are being unaccounted for here. So how do you cover 99% of Americans when 14% don't live on the beaten path? They live off the beaten path.
I don't. Yeah, I think looking at the FCC coverage map, I feel that carriers are accountable to nobody when it comes to these claims. Like T-Mobile's not accountable, AT&T or Verizon or whatever. Like who's going to tell them saying besides the NAD, right? Who else is it going to say? Because even though the FCC does have the coverage map, there needs to be more. I think there needs to be more accountability regarding the claims. More fact
Well,
checks.
we would appreciate that as customers, but these carriers ain't
Exactly.
going to stop, man.
No,
Hey,
I know.
Sneed, I thought of the way that this claim could actually be called true. You want to know how it is?
How?
Based off of Spectrum Holdings. T-Mobile holds Spectrum Holdings.
Yeah, but you got to put the licenses to work on these sites, man.
I mean, if that's the phrasing for it, there's your way you can do it.
Yeah, it says here
they got national
T-Mobile's
600,
licenses cover 330 million people. What is there? 337 million people today?
I think it's like 340. Let's just round up and call it that.
Something like that. You're probably right. It's probably up now. I did send the link out to a couple more friends of the show here. Mr. Bearded Dragons in the house.
Ahoy!
Peter, ahoy!
Ahoy!
Hey Pete, you came in at the perfect time. We got a super chat, buddy.
Yeah, we got Santiago Hernandez. Thank you so much for your generosity, Santiago. Saying, tuning in to another great cast as always. Hope you're all doing well.
Thanks, Santiago. We hope you are well also. Thank you for coming by tonight and the super chat. We appreciate you, man.
Indeed.
Alaska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming. Man, they are not covering those states, man.
Yeah, those are roaming.
Well, Sneed, Alaska's roaming.
Yeah, but they have a good partnership there, don't they, Pete?
Oh, yeah. The primary N71 holder there. Wyoming, they've improved tremendously with their native coverage.
Who's
but
got
it's
a
not
network
the
worth
state.
a damn in Wyoming? Who?
It's very tough to cover Wyoming.
Union Mobile.
Union Mobile.
Proud roaming partner of T-Mobile and AT&T.
Well, who does Verizon roam on there?
X1.
Comnet?
Yeah.
You guys remember what was the name of that company, man? Not Chantel, the other one, man.
Swiftel?
Bluegrass?
No, not Bluegrass
Swiftel.
is Kentucky. What's the other one that's up? Is it Brookage?
You mean Swiftel?
Yeah, Swiftel.
Yeah, that's the last Sprint affiliate which T-Mobile bought out.
Yeah. Swiftel is out there, aren't they?
Yeah, and T-Mobile's actively, not aggressively, but actively working on converting that over.
Yep.
All right, man. Well,
it improves every time I drive to Salt Lake City.
What I like about this article here, it says here T-Mobile is a strong, well-managed company, and he takes it seriously when they say they'll compete more in rural areas, but it's got a strong marketing machine, and the claim about 99% of Americans covered. Yeah, that sounds like marketing machine to me, 100%.
I find that sincerely dubious since not even Verizon hits 99%.
Pete, like in square miles, I think Verizon's just over 70%?
I think it's 74.
So, like, who cares? Like, there's going to be times where the population leaves where the population typically lives, and they're going to have to go somewhere where there isn't coverage. You're going to say, oh, man, that 99% claim, man, they're really full of it, man.
Hey, Sneed, real quick, you're touching on something that I talked about with Carlos, and I want to know if you know the answer to this. The last time we heard about square miles covered from T-Mobile specifically was prior to AT&T FirstNet contract. That's when they said they matched AT&T or something like that, or exceed them in square miles. And then AT&T got the FirstNet deal, and once they finished their build on that, they said they expanded across to a larger square mile footprint than Verizon. Do we know who has the largest square mileage footprint at this point as far as square miles covered? Like what the rankings look like?
Well, like 5 months ago, FirstNet claimed that AT&T with FirstNet claimed that they surpassed Verizon in square miles covered. Everybody else that I talked to refutes that.
I'm still waiting for 14 in some nearby markets.
So how is that possible when Pete's literally in a market that's it's not rural really. Pete's, how far outside of Boulder are you, Pete?
Boulder, Colorado. I am 15 miles. I am
the hell?
34 miles northwest of Denver.
How does he not have blanketed band 14? How? He tells me he's what is it? Band 12 only? Are you on 3G sites?
Some parts of the city, yeah. Other parts I'm on 66, where I'm sitting right now at 66 and 2.
I don't know, dude. Every carrier's got these weaknesses. It's pretty daggone hard to make any type of claim when you have glaring holes in your modernization.
Side note, Zero Cool coming in with a super chat.
Oh, snap. Zero Cool, that dude.
I want to cover 99% of scallops.
That's where you just hover over most of the plate while you're eating it, right? 99%
Yes.
covered.
I was trying to make an analogy here. Okay.
Also, Sneed, try to get in the habit of when you're sharing, remove the comment so it doesn't make the screen tiny on the top, or not remove, but like there you go.
Yeah. Thanks, Zero Cool. Appreciate that. And I don't know, man. This is all that marketing stuff. Like, here's Roger, friend of the show, Roger Etner. If you have 200 million pops, you can say nationwide. That's the nuances of marketing speak. He's right.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts it all into perspective. It's just, how do I market my network as being the largest, fastest, best? It's just all nuance. It's all language.
Well,
all right,
you want to make a
you guys ready
change?
for the next story?
Yeah.
All right, I got this next one, right? And this one's like kind of out of the middle of nowhere, but I think it's just the direction. It's like a sign of more things to come. And I think it's just too little too late. Carriers that wanted to do this, or ISPs that wanted to do this before, they probably should have done it long ago, because right now, like, there's just too many competitors, just so many companies doing this. And welcome to the show, Running Flame. What up, man?
I've been looking forward to this stream for a while. Thanks for the invite.
Sure, you're welcome, man. All right, can you guys see the screen?
I see 6. There we go.
All right, we're
Which
in.
is closer to what? Isn't WoW like one of those cable cartel members?
All right, so WoW
yes, I've been reading
is
about
actually
this.
it's here in Ohio. All right, so if you were to like come to the CLE, I got the chamomile tea going right now, very very hot, and yeah, thanks, babe. I appreciate you. You're the best. You're the MVP of this podcast.
Yeah, lady. Yeah.
Isn't she Sneed? Isn't she the MVP of every podcast?
She's the MVP of everything. All right, there's like the sun, there's the moon, there's the stars, there's all of that, and then there's my wife, bro. It's just a whole nother level.
Should have grabbed some chamomile, but what's going on with WoW?
All right, so this is I don't know how many markets they're left in. I know they've been trying to sell, but apparently they're going to do a wireless launch later this month. Okay, so if they launch in May, let's talk about this, gents. How many cable ISPs are now going to be selling wireless? We have Cox, they're getting in. Altice, they're coming in with Optimum Mobile. Mm-hmm. You got Charter and Comcast. And then, am I forgetting anything?
I think you've named at least 90% of the cartel.
Okay, so what are we doing here, Dennis? Why are these ISPs? What do they really think the grass is greener on the other side, man?
Well, Sneed, home internet is saturated. They've already had and exceeded market penetration, and COVID pushed them into the area and COVID got them the rest of the low-hanging fruit that they wouldn't have normally gotten. So there's only one route left to go, and that is to get into a different market and focus on retention and raising revenue.
Dennis, I thought the next place to go was forcing employees to sell plasma for their profit.
No, Pete, that's for 2050. Okay, get it right.
I'm surprised WoW hasn't been bought out yet by Comcast or Spectrum. Like, I never liked them as an ISP, to be honest with you, but
Or
They don't
hey,
have any assets that are worth anything.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
They have
There's small,
customers.
some customers. There's small footprint. You know,
Listen,
I mean-
man, the days
let me
of
get EM Tech in here about this actually, real quick. EM Tech, do you guys have WoW in your market?
No, we've just got Spectrum and then AT&T fiber.
Oh, okay. All right, Dennis, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, look, the days of cable companies just gobbling up other cable companies have long gone and passed. It's literally, no joke, more expensive for a Comcast to acquire WoW and then go through the process of ripping and replacing and retraining and reintegrating everything into their systems than it is just to freaking build from scratch. So WoW doesn't really have much, and as far as that small amount of customers goes, and a good chunk of those places where WoW does exist, Spectrum or someone else already exists as a competitor, which also scares off ISPs.
yeah.
But anyway, to answer your question, Sneed, the short answer is it has to do with bundling and it has to do with retention. It's a straight up retention play, and it's a way to generate extra revenue that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten.
It says here we are on target to officially launch the offering in one of our southern markets later this month, followed by an enterprise-wide launch early in the third quarter. We're excited to provide our customers additional flexibility to stay connected on a reliable, no-contract cell phone plan with unlimited talk and text. Who is going to be the MNO? Reach Mobile.
Reach.
Who is Reach Mobile on?
Let's find out.
T-Mobile, I think.
Anybody know out there?
I think it's T-Mobile.
So T-Mobile is all right.
I'm double
Oh,
checking.
actually, no. They use Verizon, actually.
Reach Mobile is a Verizon
Yes.
MNO situation?
Yeah. And has anybody ever seen a WoW service truck before? Anybody?
I have.
It looks hideous.
Yeah, they're like those box utility trucks that are like clunky and rusted.
It's like somebody converted an ice cream truck into a cable van. And like, there you go.
I mean, I looked up Reach Mobile, and I remember talking about
Oh, here it is.
session show.
It's T-Mobile.
So I was right. Hey,
well,
I
what
was
the-
right.
Dang it, Google. Wait, why is Reach Verizon and T-Mobile? What the heck?
No.
It says
It says here it's going to be T-Mobile.
If you go to their website, it pulls up the MVNO map for T-Mobile.
Go Dennis
right,
with his
there we go.
awesome brain memory. Woo.
Nice job, Dennis. You win. Let's see here. It says Reach Mobile runs a consumer business where it offers services as an MVNO. It has agreements with all national U.S. carriers. The company also runs Reach Next, which is the platform business and where the majority of the
all
company's
national
resources
carrier.
are
Yeah, so
focused.
it does run on Verizon. This website.
It runs on all. It looks like it runs on all of them. They have a deal with all of them. But it says this one, the WoW one, is going to be through T-Mobile.
Just through T-Mobile. Okay, all right, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. So, by the way, WoW is selling the Cleveland market. I think they're selling the Columbus market too. They're selling to Atlantic, some other ISP that's like, yeah, we'll take your customers.
Oh yeah, they
we'll
sell
take,
mobile too, by the way. They use
right,
AT&T.
Atlantic does?
Yeah, they use AT&T for their wireless MVNO.
Bro, these guys are just reaching at this point. They're like, yeah, let's just get our name in the hat. Yeah, we sell wireless too. You know, they tell their customers when they sign them up for a
Steve,
wireline.
you say that, but you can't argue with the fact that who's been the fastest grower in the wireless space right now?
Cable operators.
Okay, case closed.
But I'm just saying, I'm talking about like WoW and Altice. Like they're just like, yeah, let's get involved. Yeah, we got your wireline and we can give you a discount for your wireless too.
Yeah, but there's a playbook to follow that the bigger cable companies made, and all they have to do is copy and paste it, and they'll have some level of success. I'm sure they'll get like 5% of their base to get over to the mobile side, which is that's 5% more revenue than they didn't have.
All right. Well, let's ask EM Tech. We'll just go through the entire panel. EM Tech, do you see WoW doing anything here? And do you typically see in your market people gravitating towards MVNO through cable ISP?
I mean, I question the long-term viability of any of these MVNO deals through cable companies, with Spectrum and Comcast kind of being the exception because they're doing the whole thing with like cbrs and they're building out their own network to kind of offload traffic. So I see those two companies long-term making, successful, loyal customers. But I feel like with all these other smaller cable companies, they're going to churn so hard, especially with these limited data plans through T-Mobile MVNO agreements. But as far as my market goes, a lot of people churn to Spectrum and then go right back to where they were before because the cap data plans suck.
All right, let's get Zero Cool in on this, man. You're part of the world. Are you seeing people take to these MVNO cable operators, and you think anything of this WOW deal?
As far as the MVNO cable operators, yes, they're definitely going to them. I can tell you, I've been in numerous stores, and the traffic flows into those stores is just as much as what a corporate store from a carrier would be, right? So that's good. People want more bundling with their service, with their cable service. Can't fault them for it, right? So as far as this WOW goes, I'm not. I don't care. I just like. If they do, fine. If they go away, fine. Whatever. I'm not really a fan of anybody who uses. I mean, it depends on how this is structured. I don't know. I like to see. I like to see pricing for this.
Yeah, that would matter. That's true.
If the pricing is good, we'll see how they do. I can't. I'm not holding out for them though.
What's good pricing for you? Like, what are the numbers that are cool for what's considered good pricing?
Honestly, anything lower than $50.
I think they'll do that. 45, pretty go-to for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me get
let me get Pete in Dish.
Here. Let me get Pete in here for this one. Pete, what do you think of specifically the WOW piece and whatever they're doing? And then also your neck of the woods, your experience, your perspective on MVNO with these cable ISPs.
I'm going to cover that in another thing. First, the other thing. Reach may be on all three primary networks, but there's a chance this is just Reach servicing through T-Mobile. As for ISPs, going off what Zero Cool said, for some reason people like having all their ducks in one bill for some reason. So
$30 a month, Pete, if that's what they can do.
Hey, if it's $30 a month throughout a cell line and it's on your cable bill, and where the you're sending money their way, and maybe it gives you a slight discount on your internet, you're all in on that.
Pete, you want to take care of this super chat real quick?
Yeah, and I'm also going to comment on that super chat. Kamikaze Kid sent the super sticker with a headset yelling "Wow," not "Whoa." So that caption text is wrong.
But nice, man. That's very fitting.
Exactly.
All right, man.
Yeah, in my market, I do see the people who are with Comcast tending toward the Comcast phone simply because they're already with Comcast.
Hey, Pete, real quick question for you, man. The last time I was on the show with Sneed, we had gotten a comment from someone that was talking about 2 gig coming to Denver, and you confirmed it.
Yep.
But I wasn't able to find any zip codes or anything to actually see it. Do you know what the pricing is for the 2 gig service that Comcast is offering, the 2 gig by 150, and where?
The one guy I know was saying around 150 and in downtown Denver, not the suburbs, especially not, with the exception of maybe Westminster, which has Google Fiber.
Gotcha. So 150 for 2 gig by 150 meg?
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm going to get Running Flame in here. Mr. Running Flame, WOW is doing this MVNO thing, just cable in general. You can comment on this particular wireless reseller. What's your take, man?
So I have two takes that haven't been mentioned yet. One, that the cable, linear TV traffic is increasingly the same as the 55 plus plans or carrier. So they don't churn. If you can get them on cell service unlimited for 30, they may use 3 gigs of data. and they're going to keep around your TV service longer because it's on one bill, it's simple, it's largely automated. The other thing, the WOW sold their markets to Cleveland, Columbus, Chicago, a couple others. Those are the same kinds of groups that have been buying up more and more of these ISPs and MVNOs because they're hoping to take advantage of all that public benefit money for the profit structure plan. So you see come up a lot are TPG and Stoneman. They are buying big.
So that's all they're looking at this as. Investment.
I think it's to reduce churn. It may also be to make it more attractive to sell.
Yeah, because WOW's they're just not doing numbers, and they're kind of hawking off parts of their company, right? It's like a market here, a market there. I mean, they did talk about doing greenfield fiber in Florida. Have you heard that?
I have not.
I heard about it because of the government fund bucks.
Right.
I just can't believe WOW is still in business. I mean, why? Why?
I mean, dude, zero cool. There's a company literally called Blue Devil Cable. It's the perfect name for them.
I know. I've heard of them. I know, but
they serve exactly 2 towns with populations less than 1,000 people, and they've been in business for like 60 years.
You know, the customer services is like, "Hi, welcome to WOW. Where our service is WOW." That's what they literally have to say on the phone.
No, bro, they did not say that. Stop it. Stop the madness. It's ridiculous. Zero cool. This is why our people don't have anything, man.
Let's address the super chat real quick from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Green. Best podcast on YouTube. Thank you, Green.
Thanks, bro.
But Sneed, we're talking about cable. I know you got freaking sources all over the place. You got anything else that's juicy to talk about in the cable industry?
Oh man, the freaking rumor mill, bro. It's going crazy. Crazy. All right, so word on the street is, and you guys know how the Reddits get. You know, I don't spend too much time on the Reddits, but people share stuff with me. So, you know, they send me these Reddit posts and people get to squawking and talking. And there is a traditional home cable ISP that apparently is going to be joining in on the price lock guarantees for the next couple of years. First of all, I just want to ask you guys, just from a general standpoint, what do you think about cable ISPs now following suit with T-Mobile with their like price lock guarantee? What if I told you there's a cable ISP that's going to do the same thing, lock in broadband pricing for 2 years? And would you believe me? A, would you believe me? And B, who do you think that home ISP is?
I believe you, but I just wish that the term was longer. I don't think 2 years is enough.
Okay. Well, so your issue with that is it's not a lifetime term or something like that?
That's what T-Mobile's is. It's for the life of the line.
No, it's not. They changed this. They're cool.
What do you mean?
Dennis, the current one lock-in is sort of the life of the line.
It's for the life of the line.
As long as
it was added before April 27th.
Right.
Or it's not a legacy plan.
Right. Yeah. It's just if what is it? It's if Xfinity did that, with a triple play, right? I could get. I know, depending on what their if their price stayed the same, I can get behind that. That's good.
All right, let me get Dennis in here. Dennis, what's your take on that possibly being a price lock for 2 years, man?
I think that the whole idea of a price lock is nothing new for the industry, but if they can do it in a way where, like, say, because you mentioned T-Mobile as the example, T-Mobile doesn't actually do contracts. Like, if they could do it in a way where you don't have to be in a contract to get that 2-year price lock, I think that'd be a pretty dope improvement. And you told me to take a guess on who it was, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to, before we start guessing, should I move on to EM Tech? And
Yeah.
all right, let's go over to EM Tech. EM Tech, All right, what do you think about a potential price lock from this cable ISP? And do you want to guess maybe who you think it might be?
I mean, it doesn't seem like anything new to me. We have like introductory promo pricing that's good for a year. It just seems like kind of an extension on that with a different name. But potentially at a higher
But
price,
spinning
obviously.
it as something nicer.
Yeah, they're just like spinning the language around, which is what these telcos do to kind of entice people. But if I had to take a guess, I'd say it's probably Cox, because I don't see Comcast or Spectrum doing it.
All right, let me move over to the bearded dragon on this. Pete, what's your take, buddy?
Following up EMTech, I could see it being Comcast or Cox, or a major one. We're not talking like Blue Devil, but bouncing off Zero Cool. Yeah, I think price lock is something for like lifetime of service, not just 2 years. This just could be a more positive wording for, hey, we're not going to balloon your price in the middle of your 2-year contract, but where are you going to go anyway? We have no competition.
That's right. Damn cartels, man. All right, let's get Running Flame in here, man. Your take. We got a situation where we could see a price lock guarantee of sorts, kind of like following in on that new trend from ISPs and carriers that want to keep growing and don't want to negatively impact the bottom line for customers. And then who do you think it might be?
So hopefully I'm coming through okay now. You are
Yeah,
correct. I am on T-Mobile. Got to fix that. The price lock, well, it's mostly advertising, I think. They're trying to keep people from fleeing who have choices in fixed wireless. But the other thing is, if you change your plan at all on most of those, or if they discontinue them, that price lock goes away. So life does not mean life.
All right, so I think you guys bring up some good points. I want to speak to Running Flames, actually. This would have never happened had it not have been for Verizon and T-Mobile's fixed wireless access. So, Running Flame, I'm with you 100%. Dennis, that's how I feel. I've been on that. That's been my MO, is these guys weren't making any moves like this until fixed wireless became mainstreamed. And if fixed wireless never mainstreamed, we wouldn't be seeing this right now.
Sneed?
I really believe that.
Sneed? It's a rare moment. It's not actually rare, but it's a rare moment. I'm going to agree with you. I believe that the rumors that you're talking about would be in direct response because of fixed wireless.
Okay, so we got to figure out, what are our predictions? Who do we think is the company that's going to do it? Because I think it's going to shock some people. I think some people are going to be surprised by whom it is, because they're not really known to be this type of company unless they're just treating this as a contract, right? Could we see this as a contract though?
That's what I'm seeing it as.
I mean, yeah.
Because if we see it as a contract, then this is par for the course. If it's price lock, as in they give you some great promotional rate, well, that's a little bit more refreshing than a contract.
If it was a contract, Sneed, then it wouldn't be making the rumor mill something to be exciting about.
Yeah, that's true, but I think the pricing matters. Like if they're coming in at $49.99 for like their top tier plan, and they lock you in for 2 years, that's incredible. Oh, we missed a green super chat. Is that right?
Yep, he's wondering how AT&T N77 deployment goes in all of our markets.
For me, it's picking up pace. It's getting really fast. AT&T crews are doing the upgrades like literally overnight. I drive by a site the other day, and all of a sudden C-band is up there. The radios are done, the antennas are up, and it's not on yet, but like there are several sites on my commute that I'm seeing the work getting done, and I don't even see the crews. They're literally done in a day or something, maybe 2 days. Like the last one I saw, it happened over the weekend. I drove to work and the gear was up. So they're working fast here, and sites are starting to get turned on. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I've been seeing.
For me, it's non-existent. I'm only aware of like one cell site in all of Pittsburgh that has C-band equipment on it from AT&T.
Kind of a similar story for my market. I know of 2 total sites that have it, but I know after talking to some people in the industry that next year, like 2023, is when my market's going to be seeing some big pushes from AT&T.
Those will be welcome, man.
I'll have to drive and check. I got the Los Mobile check.
Got the Los Blue.
Yeah. I think I'll have to check and drive.
Who's your main right now, Zero Cool?
Verizon.
Okay. Do you have a Magenta line also?
No.
You had one at one point.
I was gonna say you got to test all of them, dog.
It's too painful right now. I can only do it 201s. Okay.
If only you were an engineer, right?
It's just too painful right now.
All right. Let's do this. So who is it, guys? Who is the rumor mill about talking about this price lock? This might shock some of you guys. I'm hearing it's Comcast.
I knew it.
I'm freaking here. I know. It's crazy. I'm shocked. I mean, if this is going to help customers save money somehow, some way, I'm shocked.
Hi, I'm Brian Roberts. Let me screw you over.
I know, Brian Roberts, bro, and we all know, we all know that Dennis is looking to take Brian Roberts' daughter out to dinner to Yard House. You know that.
Oh, listen, let me marry into the Roberts family, okay? If I can just get like 0.5% of the inheritance, I'm good.
Oh, dude, he's worth so much money.
I
Holy
know.
crap.
It's really that insane. But Sneed, you haven't told me anything. So you said it's a price lock and it's possibly a contract. Is that all? Is that all you've heard?
Well, based on what we're hearing, I don't know. The situation, is it okay to speculate? Like, because some of this stuff is unsubstantiated, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say like it's all fact, but like, okay, so it's what we're hearing is a 24-month price lock or price guarantee. They in the language they're saying no contract, but I think what's really good though is they're going to go with unlimited data. That's rumored, and they're also rumoring, so the unlimited data and then no equipment fees, no rental fees.
Oh God.
So what is? So let's talk about that, right?
Well,
Listen. Cable companies typically charge $50 upsell to make you unlimited.
That's right.
And the rental fees range between like $10 and $20.
Wow.
That means you could essentially be saving anywhere between $60 and $70 if you're a power user.
Sounds like Xfinity is kind of playing a little T-Mobile, out of the playbook, right?
What do you guys think of this, man?
Well, like I said earlier, this is the one time where I agree with you that this is a response to fixed wireless. I think that Xfinity is trying to position themselves to have a package that competes directly with T-Mobile's home internet and Verizon's home internet, so they could be like, yeah, we got 600 meg or whatever for $30 when you get your mobile through us, or whatever they're doing. You know what I mean?
Well, it says here, Dennis, that based on the competitive origins of why they might be doing this, it's 100% to offer higher performance plans. So we could expect this would be something like the whole, like, the gigabit downlink with what is it? What do they typically do? Like 100 uplink on that plan or something like that?
It's 1.2 gig down, 35 up, which is more. It's actually provisioned for 1.4 by 40.
Okay, so they're going to give you like all the downlink speeds you could possibly need. And then I guess their uplink tops out at like 40 or whatever. So that they're gonna put that in there as one of the promotional deals. I don't know if what that price is going to be, but they'll be locking it in. It'll be competitive because they're going to want to compete with whoever's trying to break in the market with these fixed wireless options.
Sounds like a T-Mobile tactic to me.
You guys think they'll price it under $100?
Yes.
Oh,
depends
100%.
on the plan.
Well, what do they typically sell it for? Or don't they sell for like $150?
What, the gig?
The gig with the unlimited data?
Well, if you get their gateway, you can get unlimited data for $25, and that includes the modem rentals. So $25 for unlimited
Okay, so
plus.
that's where I was messing. Okay, so like here, if you want unlimited data with Cox, they would charge you an extra $50.
Yeah, so $25 for unlimited plus gig is typically like $80. So
Oh, and big shout out to MS. I think he threw a super chat and we
Yep.
missed it. So I apologize for that.
Sneed.
And thanks,
Super.
MS.
So Sneed, the super chat, yeah, great live stream. Always a great way to start the weekend.
Thanks, man.
So gig normally, if you want unlimited data with the modem and everything, would have you at like 105.
Okay.
And that's without the mobile discount they typically have.
All right, big shout out to Ram. He's saying, isn't Xfinity just a marketing name to lose the Comcast hate? They tried.
Yeah.
They're trying.
No, they tried and it worked. They instantly gained like, I think it was like a 9 percentage point on their NPS scores.
And market share.
Yeah. Well, market share didn't change. I'm just saying their people's opinions of them instantly changed by like 9 points.
I thought they were able to convert some of those DSL customers back.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. So if they're coming in for gigabit downlink, whatever that plan would be called, their gigabit offer, if they're coming in sub 100 with an unlimited plan, that's a power user's dream to be locked in for a couple of years and not have to pay a rental fee. Like, Dennis, you've talked about it. There's no taxes on home internet, right?
Right.
If they literally come in at $95 flat rate, a lot of power users can live with that.
Yeah.
And you're saying
A lot of
95
them.
including the mobile plan?
If you, I don't know about the mobile situation. I think what ends up happening is like, there's, well, I don't know the structure of the plan actually. What do you think? They're coming at like $30 for a line?
Dude, I mean, if we base it off what they've currently been doing, where Comcast has been doing like
$30, right?
$35 discount off a gig here in the
Okay.
Northeast, that brings the gig down to 45. 45 plus
Okay.
45 is $90. There you go. There's basically
Wait, $90 for the internet and the wireless?
Yeah, it's on 2 separate bills, but yes.
Oh, that's competitive.
But the only thing is that so you still have to pay for a modem rental, so you'd have to buy your own modem for it to.
Right.
But we don't have the data
Hey.
cap over here in the Northeast, so.
Okay, Running Flame, let me get you in here, man. You're a man of the internet, and you want good deals on internet. Are you biting on this if they were to offer it in your area? Man, we may have lost him.
T-Mobile internet, darn you.
He was a running.
Yeah,
flame.
I'm heading to a different part of town, and then I am switching to
He's
Verizon.
on the move.
Okay, so Running Flame, Sneed asked you, would you bite on that?
Maybe he is on the move. All right, let me get EM Tech on this, man. You biting on this, man? You got $95 potentially. You're looking at gigabit home internet with the wireless line.
Oh, that's an easy sell for me. Especially compared to what pricing is in my market. Like that's coming in at almost half the cost of what Spectrum would charge you for their gig plan and a wireless line.
Could you imagine if somebody also qualified for the ACP?
Oh my
You get a $30
God.
discount on top of that. You'd be in at like $65.
Yeah, I'm actually just reading about that online here about the ACP for $30. Credit towards your monthly internet or Xfinity mobile bill. Guys, this is very T-Mobile-esque here. Just pointing that out.
Dude, get that spit out your mouth, bro. T-Mobile copy cable with their playbook, bro. That's what happened here.
So, are you guys thinking about John Leisure making a comment like, "Hey, knock on the screen. We did this to you guys with the cable. They want to get in on us. Just boast it all up." That'd be cool.
Well, I want to take a second to do some price comparison real quick. Magenta MAX plus T-Mobile Home Internet, that has you at what price need for one line of Magenta MAX and the T-Mobile Home Internet?
The two things together?
Yeah.
What are you coming in at? 85, 50, half? So
85 plus 30, I believe, right?
130, right?
Is that what it comes out to?
I think so. $130. Because the T-Mobile Home Internet's $50 with auto pay, right? And then the Magenta Max is 85, yes?
Yes.
So that puts it at like 135.
Okay, so we got 135 versus Verizon. Yeah, let's do, what is it? You have to have Get More, right, to get the 50% discount?
No, you just have to have any unlimited plan.
All right. We'll do Verizon Play More to make it better for them. So Verizon Play More is what, $80?
$80.
So $80 plus 25?
Yeah.
80 plus
105.
25. So that's 105. And
Right.
then we got Xfinity potentially coming in at 95 bucks.
95, right.
For
Yep.
gigabit download speed guaranteed.
And you can bet your bottom dollar they were pricing this up against Verizon.
Oh,
100% they were pricing it against Verizon's home internet with their single line.
I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
So you got the gig and then you got the unlimited. And yeah, you're coming at $10 less than Verizon. $10 to $15 less than
And
Verizon.
I thought the Verizon offer was compelling.
So ultimately what it comes down to in this comparison is, and we kind of talked about this yesterday when we were talking about the best plans for people when we actually had a segment talking about best bundle. But ultimately what it comes down to is what you value more. Do you value your home internet experience or do you want the best wireless plan?
Well, I think the wireless is kind of negotiable in this case. But how about this, Dennis? What if it was millimeter wave Verizon?
Then it's a harder comparison. It's a much. Hey, I've already agreed with you that millimeter wave is cable S.
Well,
we just disagree.
You know what I was thinking? You know what automatically I first thought about, Dennis, was uplink speed. Can Verizon's 5G home over millimeter wave give you 100 megabits up?
Yes.
Because that might be meaningful to someone who's like, wait a minute, man. If I got millimeter wave, or if C-band gets to the point where like standalone 5G, more spectrum getting on air, carrier aggregation, could the evolution of C-band put us into 100 megabit per second uplink territory?
Well, Sneed, I'm going to say something. Remember I told you I got my friend to finally order the fixed wireless for Verizon, and he has a great power?
How did it go for him? Yeah.
I've noticed that it's capping his speeds at like 300 by 20. Even though my phone can literally...
That's all they offer. That's all they offer, 300.
I thought it was up to 50 for upload on the fixed wireless.
For millimeter wave. For on any C-band, no matter what plan you're on, whether it's 5G home or plus, it's capped at 20.
So we got the plus. I thought it would be okay. Well, then shucks, that sucks because when I'm on my phone, I get like 700 by 110.
Right. Yep. So they're clearly aware of the limitations that you've highlighted, Dennis.
Then yeah.
So if you think about it, if they're trying to be competitive with Verizon with one line and their fixed home internet, wouldn't that be saying, hey, wouldn't you rather be using Verizon on Comcast at this lower price and move business away from the primary carrier and just sell people the access to Verizon?
Well, Pete, someone chimed in on this in the earlier comments, but every year that goes by, I think there's an argument to be had that the big cable giants, so Spectrum and Comcast specifically, are becoming like regional players in their own right. I mean, we know that they have CBRS spectrum that they're deploying. It can be argued that the Wi-Fi hotspots, in a way, is like a network of its own, just unlicensed spectrum, because they got 19 million of those Wi-Fi hotspots. And Sneed, you can vouch for this. When you were in Pittsburgh, you were connecting to them pretty frequently, were you not?
I was.
And on top of that, the Wi-Fi hotspots, when you're a customer, and I know this because I'm testing Xfinity Mobile right now, are provisioned for gig, regardless of speed tier.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a way, it's like you're getting your cake and eating it too. I mean, you get Verizon access with priority data when you have a 5G activated phone. C-band doesn't count against the high speed. You got the extra Wi-Fi coverage. You got the CBRS, so if you're in an area where Verizon only has band 66 and band 13 cell sites, you actually have some capacity.
All right.
I don't think you're getting a downgraded experience in any way from it.
You know what? You bring up a really good point, Dennis. I mean, I'm actually thinking about just seriously getting Xfinity Mobile and just.
But you've got fiber, dog.
No, I know, but I mean, just to for the added hotspots, I really love that feature. I really did. I've used it before in the past.
And by the way, those hotspots have capacity, man.
They do, exactly. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm really thinking about maybe doing that.
Bro, you pick them up everywhere. I literally drove by like 7 banks and literally like just kept connecting to them.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sneed, I'm just going to tell you something that I've been doing as a test. I put my phone to airplane mode. I'm only solely relying on the Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots to see if I can actually have a good experience.
When you're out of the house?
Yes.
Holy crap.
I want to test it. I want to test it.
Hey, I hear you, man. You're doing it.
Someone asked how secure those hotspots are. They're pretty secure without getting super fancy. I know that they basically create separate. Basically, it's not like your home Wi-Fi where you're like on a LAN network and other devices can see each other. Each individual device is kind of like interdependent of itself. So I would say they're reasonably secure.
It's like a separate.
Pete, what's your take on that, Pete? You're Mr. Security. Count us in, bro.
Technically, they're on a different subnet to the base, like the home Wi-Fi, but haven't put it through the paces. But there is, I'd say it's more secure than posting something on Facebook. But
how about we put it like this? It's more secure than the Starbucks free Wi-Fi for sure. Would I do my personal banking on it without a VPN? Maybe not.
I would recommend against that.
Yeah, but it's going to be safe enough for you to call, text, watch some YouTube.
All right, King Sniper, we got to talk about this, man. He says, when does AT&T copy Comcast and use their fiber for hotspots? How exactly would you execute that? You would have to create, you'd have to create gateways, routers, access points. So, do you mean like how Fios does it? Or how
he's talking about the hotspots? Like he's talking about actually having like Wi-Fi hotspots like cable does.
Oh, yeah. Because didn't we talk about that last week's show, Dennis?
Not that I'm aware of. But I'm gonna give the short answer and say that AT&T doesn't do it because AT&T has a whole cell network with dedicated spectrum. There's no reason for AT&T to do it.
Hey, Pete, any thoughts on helium as a risk to ISPs?
It's a Ponzi scheme. I mean, somebody has to pay them for the connection and the overages and getting money through the whatever cryptocurrency they're offering. It's just, it's like having 5 people in your house and everybody paying a fifth of the bill, but to get the cash out of your roommates, you have to pay a gas fee.
We have a new guest on the show. Welcome to the panel, Vivian. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
We're chilling. We're hanging out, doing this podcast thing.
What up?
Cool.
Hey, so I have an aggressive question for the panel since Zero Cool was saying it.
Aggressive.
Would anybody be willing to switch their main line over to Xfinity Mobile if the deal and the pricing was the way as you're describing? Sneed, I'll start with you since you're first to the left.
I mean, it's on the Verizon, man, so it's going to be solid. So the concern won't be network access. It's going to be reliable. It's going to be a big network. It's kind of nice having all those hotspots to connect to and not have to worry about usage or whatever. And the pricing is very competitive. And if I was like on the fence thinking I could just go with Verizon and get their home internet product, I mean, there's nothing better than a good quality wireline connection, right? I don't know, man. It'd be hard to pass up. So, I mean, I guess the question is are you looking beyond the 2 years? Because even Verizon, I think their price lock's 2 or 3 years, isn't it?
Correct. Verizon's also a 2-year price lock.
Yeah, I feel like these offers are very compellingly close, and you could say that maybe their big cable towns got something slightly better. I don't know.
All right.
Mind if I jump in on this one, Sneed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Right now, as I hang out by the Mexican restaurant on the railroad track to get signal, absolutely. Do not put all your eggs in one basket, wireline and wireless. is a great way to go, I feel, right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, EM Tech, I'd love to hear from you because I know you got a pretty beastly Verizon plan yourself.
Dude, I think he bounced for a second, but he said he'd be right back.
I'm
We
back.
should be able to get him. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say no, actually. Only because I've seen too many customers get their information stolen from these cable ISPs and their wireless portion, not their wireline portion. But I think there's a little bit more security with a traditional postpaid operator like Verizon or AT&T.
I noticed you kept T-Mobile out of that discussion. Was that strategic?
That was intentional.
I just
Oh.
want to ask real fast. I know that Xfinity does the same 6-digit like transfer pen generation that Verizon did. In fact, if memory serves me, I think they were one of the first to it. What about them from a security standpoint seems to be lacking?
I mean, I don't have experience with Xfinity in particular, but I've seen multiple people port over to Spectrum Mobile, have their information either stolen by a Spectrum employee or a contractor that works in their customer care centers. Their numbers get ported out to some other carrier, and then they lose all of their info, banking, the whole nine.
I can add to that too.
Go ahead, Pete.
Sneed, I know on a podcast you recently pointed out like source code breaches on the source code breach in T-Mobile, saying that's a security fault. Cable ISPs, their source code is somewhat like an open hive where people can occasionally just dip in willy-nilly and pull some out for their infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually if you have access to one system, chances are you're going to have access to another system on top of that. So.
Also, they seem to be homogenous. So if you can figure out a way to compromise your cartel partner, you can go to someone else's cartel, some other cartel member, and get in there and get the same type of information out.
I think the one thing that has to be considered here is them getting rid of that overage really makes this more consumer friendly just by doing that and allowing you to have your own modem and not have to pay for one on a rental. Like Cox doesn't do this. So right away to me this is already it's got wins in it. You know, the customer can win a couple of different ways here. Viv, did you want to chime in on this? Okay, maybe we lost Vivian. Is that possible?
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Sweet.
But
Hey,
Pete,
so a question for you, Dennis. It says, okay, so my S22 says here, like I wouldn't work on just trying to sign up for the Xfinity, but it works on for Spectrum Mobile. So why is that?
Xfinity is very picky with
touchy,
what
I know.
phones what phones they bring over. I think for the S20, because I was trying to do this with Sneed's phones a few days ago. I think with the S22, it has to be the unlocked version from Samsung Direct.
Oh yeah, okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I know for when I did it for Carlos's, his was an unlocked version bought from Samsung Direct.
And here's the thing: there's no way you can get this service without having internet first, right? That's pretty much what I'm reading here.
Correct.
And then if you have the wireless service because you have the home internet, if you leave the home internet service, they double your cost or something
Not
crazy.
double, but they charge you the line access fee, which is like $25 now per line.
Well, that's pretty damn close to double.
So
I mean, we're going from 30 to 55.
45 to whatever it is, but yeah. Anyway, but there was a comment that was in, I wanted to address it. It was from Aaron Johnson, and it was more of a question than anything. He said, does Xfinity Mobile offer any perks like the other mobile carriers? The other mobile carriers tend to have entertainment perks and other types of perks as a means to welcome the user. Short answer is no. It's a no thrills kind of package, I would say, more so than anything.
Oh, so like compared to like Verizon, how they give you the Disney bundle?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you get perks because technically you got that Flex box if you want to consider that a perk, and you get access to Peacock Premium, which is technically a streaming service. I guess that's considered a perk. And you got the Flex box, which is kind of like
Yeah,
a
but Verizon's giving you ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, Hulu. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a package of entertainment, dog.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I would just argue this. For the cost difference, you can buy that bundle and still have better network.
So it would be like $10, $15. Yeah, it's right there. That's true.
Same price point, yeah.
Yeah.
My issue from the Verizon side is that you're only getting it for a year, unless they've changed that since last time I looked here.
You know,
unless you're getting their pretty pricey plans.
All right.
Why hasn't Spectrum Mobile and Xfinity Mobile? Why can't they just offer these mobile plans standalone? I mean, who cares about the?
It's the incentive behind it. Zero tech. Well, there's two. Well, no. There's two legitimate. No, hold up. There's two legitimate reasons why that doesn't work. One, and we already know this for a fact, they're kind of either selling the plans at break even or a loss, unless you're a person that doesn't actually use a lot of data, then they win. And two, they don't want you using a lot of cell phone data on Verizon's network. So you having the home internet is a way to reduce your data usage, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, if they did offer, it separately, I could see a lot of people like getting T-Mobile home internet with Xfinity Mobile or something along those lines.
But so let me frame it to you guys like this, and you tell me if you think this is plausible. Are there people out there that are using 30 or 40 gigs of data because they have an unlimited plan? Would they change their habits, their usage, if they went to a company like Xfinity and had the home internet and were on like whatever that data plan is like, whatever usage it is? Do you think people will reduce their usage by 20, 30, 40, 50% just to make it work? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, would you change your usage to make it work to those terms of the deal? I think a lot of people would. Like, they would find themselves trying to use their phone more when on those hotspots, when on the home internet.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I would be one of those guys. Yeah, absolutely.
I would too, honestly. Like, if I'm typically a 50 gig usage kind of guy a month, but I change to one of these plans and these offers, I don't want to say tether me, but they encourage me to be on those network elements and my home internet more often.
Right, I'm already that guy. I use like 150 gigs on my Wi-Fi.
If you didn't speed test, Dennis, how would it be?
Literally, if I didn't speed test like at all, my usage maybe would be like 15 gigs a month, and that's really pushing it.
Hey, Viv, I know you just came back in. What do you want to talk about tonight?
I'm just listening and waiting for something to contribute to.
It's millimeter wave.
Well, you can contribute. What are your thoughts on the Xfinity bundle versus the other bundles that are out there? Like, would you personally bite on that, Viv? The Verizon? I mean,
to me, the biggest advantage of the Xfinity bundle is that you get access to Comcast CBRS spectrum, because if you're just on Verizon, you don't get that. And they have pals in markets where Verizon doesn't.
It's true. And it's easier for them to put up all those little small cells on all that pre-existing infrastructure, those strand mounts, and they could literally be anywhere.
Yeah, and Comcast is such a bunch of cheapskates. You can bet that they are putting as many CBRS small cells as they can to offload traffic so they don't have to pay Verizon.
Oh, they're like, hey, we found 5 gigs of usage over here last week. Let's get a small cell up there.
You know what's funny is that it's not even a joke. Sneed, I don't know if I told you this, but at my old high school at the football stadium, dude, they literally put up the good Wi-Fi hotspots, so they offer like the symmetrical fiber, and they got the CBRS up there as well. And it's just a small little high school football stadium.
Yeah.
Hey, I figured out a way that I can get this Xfinity Mobile. All I need to do is just
get Dennis's details.
No.
Well, Dennis doesn't have any room on his account anymore because he used up all 5 of his
That's what
slots.
I'm saying. I need to find somebody with. I need to find somebody that's a 4-line account and be like,
yo, Pete has one. I think he's got it offered over there.
What? Seriously?
I'm not touching Xfinity. That's some expensive BS service. By the way, we have, on the topic of Xfinity, we have Jason D chiming in with a $5 super chat. We know that Xfinity is in the process of deploying CBRS spectrum. Do they have millimeter wave holdings or planning on deploying in the future?
Does Comcast own millimeter wave licenses? I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, can anybody confirm licenses?
I know they have some C-band.
100%. They got CBRS. We know they got.
They got
PALs, yeah.
CBRS. They have some C-band. They actually had some other stuff too, but they sold that off.
Wait, they have C-band?
Yeah, they have a little of C-band.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, a little bit.
Which one? The most recent one or the older one?
The older one, I think. The one that wasn't from the Department of the
3.7, the first one.
I've been differentiating them with N77 and N77 DoD.
Yes.
But there's got to be a less mouthy way to say that.
Just call it
do you
DOD.
I looked at the license. Well, let me see if I can phrase this properly. I looked at a tower permit for an upgrade, and I was looking at an AT&T radio that was going to be installed on the new site, and they called it N77G and N77D. And N77D is the 3.7, and N77G is the 3.45. I don't know what that means, but that's how they did it.
Might be the
N77G, where are you seeing that? I believe you.
That
I
was
just
on
want
a
to read more
permit
about
when
it.
Well,
I was
Sneed,
looking at a. Yeah.
I'm gonna blow your mind for a second. Take a guess how much C-band Comcast actually has. Just take a guess.
10 megahertz.
More.
20.
More.
What do you mean more? 30?
40 megahertz.
Where?
Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are two places I know they have 40 megahertz of it.
Of 3.7?
Yes.
Damn.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder if they're going to lease any of it.
Yes.
And who's taken?
Verizon.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Verizon would want.
What Verizon Holdings in Pittsburgh? Is it 140?
I think it's 160.
Hey, Dennis. Based on Baby Yoda, you're holding out on Zero Cool over here. He says you can have 10 lines on your Xfinity mobile account.
Yes,
Don't
that
be holding
assumes
out,
that you
bro.
pass yet another credit check, and you have to first actually have your 5 lines activated first before you can do the credit check, which I just got your SIM cards need.
Oh, somebody hooking me up, please.
So what you're saying is you don't have the credit for 10 lines.
What I'm saying is I haven't had my credit ran yet to see if I can get more lines. I maxed out on 5, which is the
big shout out to OG friend of the show, OG tech creator, JG Tech Blog is in the house. Longtime friend of the show, longtime personal friend of mine. JG, it's been a long time, man. Are you trying to make it on this show, or are you going to be doing a live stream tonight, man? You tell me, bro, and we can make that pivot. Dude, it's been a long time. I don't know if any of you out there remember when I used to do a podcast on the JG Tech Blog. Pete, you might remember that because you've been riding with me for a minute.
I remember some nights you were like, gotta get off the podcast. I'm holding down the shift for JG.
That was a long time ago. I'm talking like 20.
He said he could hop on with us.
I'm going to send him the link, man.
I look forward to meeting him.
Oh, dude, JG's in the house. Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, Comcast 100% is going to end up leasing that because they already did that with their CBRS in certain places for Verizon. In fact, the 10 megahertz that Verizon has up, Sneed, at the Bethel Park Mall,
yeah,
that's spectrum leased over from Comcast.
There you go. So there's precedence.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, JG, the link has been sent. Jarrett remembers me on the podcast. and Josh too. That's awesome. You guys, that means you guys have been with me for a minute because that was like 2016 or 17. Can't believe it's been that long.
It had 2016 because I started watching.
Let me tell you this, Dennis. It's before any of the gray hairs I got. Way before.
I was saying it had to be 2016 because I started watching in 2017 because I started watching before I went to main campus. That's how I remember.
And I'm pretty sure like Yasmin was literally like newborn, like crawling. She was so small. She's 6 now.
Dude, it's crazy to think that I've known you for so long, yet we didn't actually start interacting until like, what, last year or like 2 years ago?
Well, Dennis, you were a supporter on Patreon. I remember that.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And the commenter on the videos, like I remember you from
But
back in the day.
But I meant like interacting like this, like how we're interacting right now.
Well, it was hard to get you on. It was hard to get you to turn your camera on, man.
That's true. That's true.
Remember?
That beanie, man.
So, do we want to? I think we beat this topic pretty good, and I think the consensus is that we're all pretty optimistic and excited because this is a win for consumers. Competition's good.
Yeah,
that's the vibe.
Yep, that is totally the vibe. How about some Dish and Boost Infinite news? How about that?
I'm excited for that. Let's get into it.
So
we're gonna bring in JG Tech Blog. JG, what up, bruh?
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's happening, man? Welcome to the show, man. Long time.
It's been a minute since I've heard that voice.
My bad. I think my audio got rusty a little bit. It's been a minute since I used it.
You haven't used any of this equipment in like 6 years?
Yeah, does it sound good? Is it okay?
Yeah, man. You sound fantastic. Better than I sounded on my first episode, that's for sure. So yeah, you're good, bro.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, it's been a minute. I kind of took a long hiatus from the YouTube world, but it's good to be back, and it's a pleasure to be on.
JG, have you been following this whole Dish Boost Infinite thing?
Not too much. I kind of got away a little bit from the mobile world, wireless world, but I'm a little bit getting back to it. I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'll be honest, I'm not as technical as I listen to you guys. I'm more from the kind of customer service side of things. I was a dealer myself, so I'm from that aspect. So the tech aspect, I listen to you guys. I'm like, wow, okay, these guys know their stuff when it comes to like the C-band and all this technical part of it. So yeah, hopefully you guys don't ask me a question about that.
Yeah, but we can ask you what you think about this new business model, because you've been on the retail side.
Right.
You think about things from the consumer angle. You think about things from the dealer. Okay, so essentially Boost is going to be running a postpaid service that's going to kind of piggyback off of regular prepaid Boost Mobile. They're going to call it Boost Infinite, and they're going to kind of introduce single lines starting at $30 a month, and they're going to start with like city by city launch, right? So they're doing Vegas right now. They've got a list of about 30 cities that they're going to launch in the next few weeks, and then they're going to do some more. But $30 a month, and it's unlimited everything. There's no restrictions whatsoever. Like there's no soft data cap, no slowdowns after 35 gigs. The hotspot and tethering, full speed the whole way.
Sneed?
Yeah.
There is a restriction.
What is it, Pete?
It has to be in a Dish wireless native market. They do not want you roaming on AT&T or T-Mobile while taking advantage of the service. And if you hit a critical point where you're roaming on the third-party network too often, they will unceremoniously cut your line. So the restriction is you need to be Dish native.
So basically, treat it like roaming into Canada and Mexico. Basically have like 50% of your usage at least on domestic.
Yeah, but if you're in the market and
if you're
that's where you're doing all your usage, I mean, it's gonna be phenomenal. Now, Pete's giving you the worst case scenario. You start roaming, and you're on their agreement carrier, whether it's T-Mobile or AT&T, and you're using hundreds of gigs of data. I'm guessing they're gonna be on you, because that's gonna get quite expensive. And I think the other part to this, and JG, you could speak to this because you know about the sensitivity of consumer spending, especially right now with our current economic situation with inflation. The only phone currently available for use on Project Genesis Boost Infinite is the Moto Edge Plus, and it's $899.
Wow. Okay. So
they're going to need like entry level and mid range and budget phones from Samsung and TCL, and the guys that can give them phones for $200 and $150 and $100 with a trade in or a port in or whatever they do with those promos.
So this is actually, I was gonna talk about this also. Shameless plug. I'm gonna be going live hopefully in feel free if you guys want to join
we
later
will.
on.
Oh yeah.
And this is actually one of the reasons I initially had kind of dropped off the YouTube and just being in, because the majority of my videos were about prepaid. And I'll talk about this a little bit here. And so I kind of found out that being in the center of prepaid, I found that there's a lot of people moving away from prepaid. And this is just my opinion, just being in the center of it. Now, you guys can have a different view from the outside, from the general public. But what I found is that there's a couple problems with prepaid currently. And the future of prepaid in general doesn't look good, whether that's Boost Mobile, Cricket, Metro PCS, and so on. So a couple things that I found out while I was there is that many people, or fewer people, were upgrading their phones, and the majority of the profits for those dealers, me being one of them, were from people upgrading their phones. And now they were making the phones so good, there was no reason for people to upgrade. So that meant less commission, less profits for the dealers. That and a whole bunch of other things that were happening. One of the biggest reasons I seen a threat to these prepaid carriers was, I think all of you are familiar with Mint Mobile, Visible, and other MVNOs that were coming into the market. They had very low overhead expenses because they don't have any locations or stores, and they were very competitive with their pricing. And that kind of pushed a lot of the customers to the MVNOs. And then the government kind of came out with these incentives to be, they used to call them Obama phones. I don't know what they call them right now, but where they provide you with a free phone, free internet, free phone service. And let's be honest, the majority of the prepaid customers, they were on those services. I mean, that was the customer base for prepaid. So when that came out, that took a big chunk of the customers also. So, going back to what Dish and Boost is doing, I love it. I see they're trying to compete, but it seems like it's going to be very difficult for them at this point. Metro, I've seen the numbers lately. I still have a lot of friends that are dealers, and they're saying they're doing really, really bad, and they're sooner or later they're trying to get out and close their stores because they're
Okay. So JG, what you're talking about is a culmination of probably something that dates back to like 2014, 2015, when there was a huge push by John Legere and the executives at T-Mobile, where they were telling the dealers, open stores, we need to move, we're going to do all these things, you're going to make all this money, you're going to grow. And it did up until about 2018.
Yep.
And then from 2019 on, look what happened. You started to see consolidation of stores, you started to see closing, you started to see foot traffic decreasing, and then the pandemic happened.
Correct.
And then I think it's a culmination of all those things. It was only a matter of time. We saw regression in the economy, and that just complicated it even further.
Right. And so, yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to chime in real quick. I think it's important to establish that the decline in traffic or profitability for third-party retailers is an important distinguishment from the overall health of the prepaid MVNO market. And I'm basing this off of just numbers. I know for a fact that MVNO prepaid market is actually doing healthier numbers than it ever has been. Actually, it's just that the where the subscribers are specifically going and choosing to spend their dollars has changed, and it has been some level of consolidation. So instead of there being there's still 500 different MVNO choices in this market for prepaid, but instead of there being 500 where it's equally distributed, it's the bulk are with Straight Talk or insert Straight Talk subsidy brands. Mint Mobile JG is one that is very common and popular. US Mobile's been getting a lot of traction, and then I feel like Big Cable. I don't know if we consider them a prepaid or how you want to treat them, but they're taking away a lot of the numbers from the smaller players. So there's just a massive amount of concentration and consolidation, and there's also less of an emphasis on third-party retailers' role in that prepaid center. It's gone all digital and direct to consumer.
All right, so Dennis chimed in with a good point, JG. The cable ISPs that now sell wireless, they add 5 to 700,000 customers a quarter. Those could have been Metro customers, some of them. All right, and let's be honest, man. Like, I mean, there's no more Sprint customers to take.
Yep.
That well is dry.
Right.
So, like, the people that were going from Sprint to Metro, and by the way, JG, this is happening too. 170,000 customers are upgraded and upsold from Metro to T-Mobile postpaid on Essentials every quarter.
Yep. Not a lot of people are upgrading when they're on a prepaid plan, their phone. They're either moving to a cable, wireless, or postpaid.
So I think, and I should have been more clear about it. Where I'm coming from is more. I've looked into Cricket, Boost, and Metro. So that's I really understand. I think MVNOs have probably been growing in their numbers, but it just overall for these prepaid carriers, these big ones that I used to work with directly, and I know a lot of stores. That's the majority of the stores. You don't see like straight talk stores. Those are usually in, I think, Walmart's and stuff like that. Yeah. So in terms of these prepaid that had the actual physical stores, they are being hit the most. And I think that's where I was coming from in terms of like them being hit the hardest. And
How do you think this ends up, JG, for them, for
well,
those dealers?
I don't know if you guys have been hearing lately, they've been starting to kind of push their home internet more on to the stores. But this is really bad for prepaid. The reason I'm saying this is because now, so there's a couple of things these stores were making money from. First of all, was the upgrades of their phones. Second of all, was the accessories. Nowadays, nobody's buying accessories from the stores. Majority of them coming from Amazon and online. So that means lower profits for them in terms of the phones and in the accessories. And then last but not least, a lot of people are doing auto pay now. So even when you go in and pay the bill and then they charge you like a $2, $1 for $3 fee for paying your bill, that usually went to the dealers. Now that's being crossed out too. So the dealers are being left with nothing. So I again, I'm seeing a lot of people starting to close left and right, and that's very sad. And going back to what you said in the beginning, back in 2014, 15, 16, they were saying, oh, go ahead, open all of these stores. And since 2017, 2018, I think that was the peak. And now it's just been gradually, silently kind of like, a death trap. Everybody's just been kind of going away. But like I said, home internet is being a big thing that's a lot of people going into right now.
So, JG, and by the way, I changed my mic if anybody noticed. I think part of prepaid with all the people like going to the stores and whatnot, I think a shift has happened because you have providers like Mint Mobile and Ting, and there are a couple more that I can't name off the top of my head, like Visible, where it's a prepaid phone brand, but they pride themselves for not having a brick and mortar presence.
Right.
So, I don't know if that's how prepaid is moving. I've never been in the situation of being a prepaid customer. I've always been able to go with the postpaid in some capacity, but I know the dealers are not eking out much profit with the current situation.
Yeah, I think the distinction that I'm like kind of drawing here is that third-party retailers are the ones that are suffering. However, on a broad stroke, like we'll take Metro for the example. I don't actually think Metro PCS in and of itself is doing bad from like a subscriber like profitability standpoint. Like you were talking about like phone sales. Metro, the company, I know doesn't actually make that much money off phone sales. Accessories are a different story, but phone sales, not so much. For them, the service is where the bread and butter is. Now, what that means for you is like a rep, if you work for a third-party retailer as far as commission goes, is a little bit of a different structuring. And what that means for the actual third-party retail store and how you make your money is a little bit different than what's good for the overall company. I don't see prepaid dying in any sense of the word. I think it's gonna be what it is, which is probably about I would say maybe about 50 million Americans are going to always stay somewhere in that prepaid space. But I mean, I don't necessarily see it explosively growing or explosively shrinking either.
Right. No, I definitely agree that I should have said this clearly that they are not dying. They're changing as we know it. I think more and more people are moving to these MVNOs that have lower overhead costs, and so, but specifically like these stores that we know going into the store and doing this, they're going to be lower because they're the most affected right now. I agree with you. Right now, Metro has, like in the past, it was so difficult for a customer to actually go online and buy a phone. They've simplified that process now. It's so much easier, and you actually look, some dealers, they were doing some shady things. They would not give the customers the deals that they're supposed to make a couple extra bucks. And now the customers are realizing, we can go online and buy the phones online. There's no reason for us to actually go into the store.
So what happens to their credibility, JG? Now they think everybody at a Metro is a crook.
Well, yeah, that's been known for a long time now. And when they found out, so this is when it started happening. When T-Mobile kind of rebranded from Metro PCS to Metro by T-Mobile, they knew that. That's actually one of the reasons they rebranded, because they understood that a lot of people were kind of connecting, with, like you mentioned, crooks with the Metro PCS dealers and stores. And what happened was they decided to do two things. They rebranded, if you remember that, and then they started closing a lot of stores that were inside smoke shops, gas stations, and the list goes on. They were trying to make them look a little bit more professional, and there's more like for example, they didn't allow you to buy certain accessories that you wanted. You have to buy it from them. There's so many other things they did. But overall, all of these things, they did benefit the carrier overall. So Metro still made its money. It can care less. But the dealers...
Was the accessory thing a real problem, JG, with the whole forcing the I think it's just one vendor. Like they can't shop for accessories and then distribute them and sell them as they please. Like if I was a Metro dealer, I could find an incredible deal through a vendor on my own and then sell those accessories in stores. Now I have to do it all through T-Mobile, right?
Right. And then the cost was completely different. I'll be honest. I remember cases were costing maybe wholesale, maybe about $3, $4, and then Metro or T-Mobile would sell it to you at $7, $8, or maybe even more. So that was a big cut. If you're, selling the case for like $10, $15, that's a big cut from what your profits were. So all of these cuts at the same time really kind of got people saying, hey, this is not, worthwhile anymore. It's not paying the bills. But yeah, I mean that, and then there's so many other things like I mentioned, the competition, aggressive competition, the lower commission, being able to buy the phones from Target, Walmart, Best Buy, So overall, I think the future for Boost is not too good, and they understood it. So that is why they want to push more towards postpaid. And I think Dish understands that. It sees it's like, listen, I don't know if you realize Boost was doing really, really bad for the past, I think, 1 or 2 years. I know people that actually went into Boost. They opened stores. They thought, okay, Dish is going to come in. It's going to come save the day. Let's get in before,
And it's totally backfired.
Oh, big time. Dude, I know people that lost all their savings. They went and they opened like 3-4 stores because they thought, Boost is going to be the next big thing. And then now they're just lost all their money, and then they had to close all their stores.
So there's no hope for them with this new direction of Boost Infinite, because we were always assuming that it would be Dish Network, Dish Wireless, Boost. So it'd be some kind of it would be like a in-sync type of situation with TV, with Sling,
right?
And then wireless and Boost and prepaid brand, and then they would spin off with this postpaid brand. Like it would open up new opportunities.
Right.
I would have estimated that would be possible.
Well, I mean, we'll tell. I mean, we'll see what happens in the coming years. But so far, I think their prepaid strategy failed, and it's, like you said, backfired big time.
You know what they did? They changed the structure of the plans and changed the pricing.
Right.
And then people literally left. Like JG, if you go to the comment section of my videos on the Boost Mobile changes,
yeah,
everybody's like, I'm leaving. They changed my plan. I need more than 35 gigs, and I can't be on 2G speed after that.
Yeah, I remember the 2G thing. That really.
Yeah, like that, dude. I'm telling you,
Yeah, that
if
was
they haven't
huge.
lost almost 2 million customers in the last 2 years, I'd be shocked. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you that number is sticking in my mind. I think they're down to 8 million subs, but they used to have like 9 point something million subs.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe this postpaid will kind of pull them back up.
They say they
have
want
a
to have
lot
30
do.
to 40 million subscribers.
But see, the problem was specifically, Sneed, when you're touching on that data bucket issue when they changed the plans, the problem was that a lot of Boost Mobile customers were typically from lower income backgrounds. So that was their main, and that was like their main source of internet. Like they didn't have like a home Wi-Fi. Like that was
Okay, so to address that, JG, did you know that they're reselling Cox prepaid, Cox Internet?
I didn't know that. I thought it was
Yeah.
So
they
you
were
beat me
doing
to my punch, Sneed. I was gonna.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Dennis. Go get your thunder. My bad, man.
So I was gonna touch on around that time when that was happening, they really started putting a big emphasis on their partnerships with cable operators and expanding the prepaid accessibility for internet with Comcast Internet, Cox Internet, and I believe there's been talks even with Spectrum as well, if it's not already being done already.
That would make sense. Yeah.
It's like,
So what do you think? What do you think of that, JG, as a potential add-on, something to supplement the business?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, if they are able to do that, they have a lot of work to do, and it's going to cost them a lot of money. They have it. They have the spectrum. So we'll see. I mean, time will tell. We'll see what happens at this point.
It's like, hey, let me throttle you down to 2G speeds in a 5G era.
Right. Yeah, I don't know who came up with that. That is
terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we could be hard on them because that's what Mint does.
Yeah, but Mint, you're paying like $15 a line.
It's $30 for 35 gigs.
Okay, and what is Boost, 45?
I couldn't tell you, but I know that on annual, I know they have an annual plan now that's basically similarly priced to Mint.
And
Bro,
this-
that was the sticky point. That's what everybody was pissed about. That's why people, and I'm telling you, if Metro by T-Mobile has experienced any subscriber growth, it is directly correlated to the Boost hemorrhage. People fleeing Boost.
but
So you
also,
think-
what is the QCI on Mint?
9. Whatever the lowest one on T-Mobile is. Well, now it's on
Yeah.
now it's
yeah.
on AT&T actually.
No, she was asking about Mint, I think.
No, for
right?
Mint, it's
Yeah,
no.
for
Oh yeah,
Mint.
it's low.
Yeah, it's the same as Essentials, and then Boost on AT&T is QCI 8, from what Carlos was saying, with the AT&T SIM.
In my estimation, the T-Mobile QCI thing, you either have like regular access or you have DPRIO. That's it. I don't get the QCI setup for them. It doesn't make any sense. Like T-Mobile Home Internet is like, it's like bologna meat the way they treat it. It's like hot dogs, and then like, what is it? The Magenta MAX doesn't get DPRIO'd, but every other plan does.
That's the whole thing. I mean, that's the kicker, right?
How's that a QCI though?
Well, I'm
So-
just
so how they
saying
gonna-
they're getting
how they gonna
everybody and
treat
their
Boost
brother
customers?
to get over to Magenta Max. That's their whole deal.
Yeah, but how do you get Boost customers to Magenta MAX?
They get in there with 50% off their internet.
Hey,
It's
so
true.
I want to touch this thing because we're talking about internet again real quick. I remember Vivian wanted to address a comment in regards to millimeter wave from an earlier topic. I think this is a good time
Oh, okay.
to touch on
Yeah,
that.
Jason said something about Comcast millimeter wave. So I have been looking unsuccessfully to see if NRU 60 gigahertz finally has a band designation, because Comcast could use that. And 60 gigahertz propagates way better than people think it does. I've actually looked at studies on this.
Wait a minute. 60 gigahertz. What are do we have phones that can pick this up?
I don't think so yet, but there
No, not
there
yet.
have been laptops that can do 60 gigahertz Wi-Fi for a while.
So Vivian, real quick, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't 60 gigahertz unlicensed and typically used for point-to-point deployments?
Yeah, but there's also a 60 gigahertz NRU spec
yeah.
coming up, or it should have already been released in 3GPP 17.
Really? Well, if
Yeah.
that's the case, then that's going to be exciting. Okay.
And also, it is underrated as fuck for home Wi-Fi because, according to the tests I've seen, 6 gigahertz is only faster than 5 gigahertz if you're in the same room. But if you're in the same room, why the fuck not just go all the way up to millimeter wave?
By the
Doesn't make
way,
sense.
that was released in 17, and it was Sprint who came up with 2G speeds getting cut off after the 5G cap.
Terrible.
Mm.
I don't want to
See,
do it. I don't want to do 60 gigahertz. I just don't want to do it.
Why not?
Indoors, it's great because in outdoors, 60, 64, you're at rain fade. I'm telling you, it's going to be
Zero cool. I know for a
But-
fact because I've helped set it up. I've literally gotten like half a mile point to point 60 gigahertz deployment.
Viv, what's the
That's-
study
that's
showing?
point
What's
to
the early
point.
testing?
Trust me, in RF environments, it's a lot
So-
different if you're going.
60 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which I believe operates at 1 watt. I don't remember how many antennas they were using, but they found that it was as solid as 5 gigahertz in the same room. And depending on where
What?
you stood, you could get 60 gigahertz reception in adjacent rooms in the hallway as well. Because
So
it
if you
turns out
could
that
put a 10
drywall doesn't attenuate millimeter wave that much. It's just the outer glass, which is why the millimeter wave can't get in from the outside.
Okay, so if you put a 10 gig circuit on that, I don't know what's the bandwidth that's going to be on that channel in all likelihood.
I don't know, but like if there's an indoor millimeter wave hotspot, for example, or if there's a very crowded public square, for example, Times Square, why not just use all that bandwidth up at 60
yeah.
gigahertz?
Yeah.
By the way,
Indoor is going to be good, but outdoor, I'm telling you, if you put power through it to get the RF right, to get your horizontal, your vertical beam widths, and your RF radiation pattern, I'm telling you, it's a nightmare for outside. It's horrible.
I know. That's why I
Well-
said only. I said only places
Yeah.
like Times Square.
So
Like, if
the
it's always
reason
crowded.
why you jump to about 70 to 90 gigahertz is because it gets over your rain fade. So the higher you go, you're pretty much working with like thin air. So basically, what happens there is your tropospheric ducting is not going to affect like a 70 to 90 gigahertz signal. It's the reason why it affects 60 gigahertz because it's a lower frequency because you're at where the rain would when it's raining outside. If you try to, it's the same way as like having like a crashed microwave signal. It's actually be worse than that. Actually, it's not going to be for indoor use. Great for like indoor stadiums, fine. But good God, I hope we don't do that. There is some talk about like us doing 95 gigahertz. I think that's where
Holy crap.
the telecom industry is going to go. So that's right.
For what? IAB?
95 gigahertz has the start of 6G actually. So
Well, real
it's the
quick,
start of it. So, but yeah,
real quick, as far as throughput goes, again, this is reference to point because what I've had experience with. Achieving 2 gig worth of bandwidth, and I'm talking symmetrical, was pretty easy peasy. And I know for a fact that we've been able to achieve 10 gig downlink and uplink symmetrical over 60 gigahertz point to point deployments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hey guys, can we answer this question for Javier?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can help him out real quick. JG, have you heard of US Mobile?
I'm wondering if that's also like a straight talk from Walmart.
No, do not.
No?
Oh no, I do not even compare them to Straight Talk, my friend.
That has got bad.
US
Straight Talk is a
Mobile. US Mobile is a company that I love and respect. They're one of the best MVNOs on the market. One that I would actually trust to put my main line on. We've had Omega Talk on the show multiple times.
Dennis,
Great
why'd
guy.
you get mad though?
Where are you located?
Because I have
Straight
a
Talk.
hatred for Straight Talk that is unparalleled. In fact, it makes my hatred for Verizon seem tame.
Wow, Dennis, you're usually even keeled, man. Not with the straight talk.
No,
Because
he
what is-
compared it.
Do you
They
have
say
Mint
that
Mobile?
unlimited and they break it.
Have you used Mint Mobile before?
What is it?
Have you used Mint Mobile?
Yes. In fact, I just ported my number out from Mint Mobile to Xfinity Mobile.
Okay, and how Straight Talk compared to Mint Mobile?
Dude, that's like to put this in Sneed language, that's like comparing Cox to AT&T fiber and asking how's the comparison.
Okay.
In
'Cause
English, they're garbage. Straight Talk can go rot.
Right.
And including the 9 other brands that fall under them, which would be like TracFone, Net10, and all those companies that fall under that umbrella.
Right.
Horrible.
Because I have Mint Mobile. I just went with it just to try them out. They had this.
How is it, JG?
They had this plan. I think I put it on Twitter and I had people decide whether you remember Boost Mobile came out with like a annual for $99 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Mint Mobile was doing something
3 for 3.
Yeah, yeah. So I did that, and I'll be honest. I'm in the Bay Area in California, and it's been terrible. I can't wait until I finish the 3 for 3 so I can move away. It's been really
Wait, so JG, is it congestion? Is it coverage? What's the trouble?
coverage. I barely get any type of reception anywhere. It's always
that's a
cutting off.
T-Mobile problem. Then it's just
Yeah.
it's a T-Mobile access issue.
So who are you using before in that same area?
I had Metro before this because I was a dealer. They gave us free lines. So
Wait, so Metro was good?
was really good.
What?
Never had these problems that I'm having with Mint. Mint, its internet is okay, but then the reception just overall it's choppy. I always get cut off. Sometimes I get the voicemail like a day later or something like that. It's really
What
bad.
phone are you using? Are you using your iPhone?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sheesh, man.
I didn't have any of those issues, man. And I know Stetson literally daily drives Mint Mobile for literal years.
Where
I
are
don't
you
know.
located? What state?
Well, I'm in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, and I can
Okay.
tell you right now, T-Mobile's not the golden sunshine here. And Stetson lives out in Longmont, which is where Pete's at. And T-Mobile, it's like an angel came down and blessed that holy land for T-Mobile because it's an incredible network out there.
And the angel only came by recently.
Then I wonder if it's the traffic. I wonder if it's like the congestion. If so many people using it, in a small radius, that could be.
Are you still in? Are you in Central Cal or SoCal?
Yeah, San Francisco area. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Chuck is touching on, by the way, one of the reasons why I hate Straight Talk. Their customer service is garbage, and if the time ever comes to get the port out from them, it is literally like pulling teeth.
Yeah. So
But-
let me
And
go back
also,
to the,
they define unlimited as unlimited in quantity, but then after your certain limit, they throttle you. So by that definition, AT&T and Verizon have had unlimited ever since they introduced safety mode or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let me go back to the 60 gigahertz talk really quick. So this is
Hold on. No. Wait. More
We haven't
important.
answered the question.
More important. We have to answer Javier's question. He's been waiting. All right. So he asked, please, if you guys can help me with this question. I have US Mobile. Is it good to move to Xfinity Mobile? Thanks for the explanation about it. I'm going to chime in first just because I feel pretty confident about this and I have strong feelings about both companies. Short answer. It's going to depend on your needs. If you have Comcast and they're offering you a deal that makes it so that it's significantly cheaper for you to have their cell phone service, then it's not bad to switch to. That being said, I love US Mobile. I love what Ahmed's doing. In fact, US Mobile arguably has a better cell phone plan than what Xfinity Mobile is arguing in the sense that you're getting 75 gigs of data versus 20 gigs. Now, there's some caveats here, like, are you in a place where C-band is, in which case then Xfinity Mobile technically, in a way, is unlimited because that C-band data doesn't count against your amount, whereas with US Mobile, it still counts. But you just got to look at it from like which one's the better pricing and which one better suits your needs. I like US Mobile a lot for their app. They have a great app. They have great customer support. Xfinity Mobile has great network access. You got the hotspots, you got the discount, and their app's not that bad either. Actually, I have the mobile app on my phone because I bought 5 lines. I got one for Sneed, one for myself, and 3 for Carlos. So they're both good options. It really just comes down to devil's choice at that point. You can't go wrong with either.
As for the rain fade for the 60 gigahertz, the use cases I'm picturing it wouldn't really be relevant because it would be line of sight. For example, I mean, I mentioned indoors, but also, for example, Disney World or Times Square, places that always have a shit ton of pedestrians, always within line of sight of little towers.
For outdoors, you're still having the same issue. So I'll tell you why. So at 1.5 miles, if you have because here's the thing, your rain and your 60 gigahertz is the same wavelength, right? So basically, like when that happens, when it's raining, you get what's called rain fade, or like what we call fade margining, right? So our rain fade margin. So basically, the rain fade margin is basically distance and per and your attenuation, which would be your transmit power of how much you lose, right? So for drizzle, and at 1.5 kilometers, whatever, you're gonna lose about 0.2 dB. light rain is 1.8 dB, medium rain is 5.6 dB, heavy rain is 9.5 dB. So it doesn't, even if you're at line of sight, you still have it. Trust me, even on the 6 gigahertz channels for just a microwave license, we still experience rain fade, even though it's not even 60 gigahertz. But you will get rain fade heavily if you're trying to use it outdoors and it starts to rain. Your signal will go to crap. It's the worst.
Well, that's if you're using it standalone. And also if you're thinking of making it go more than like 100 or 200 feet. I'm thinking of using it with like standard Wi-Fi range.
Standard Wi-Fi range, the only way that would work is if you would have, it really depends on where you're trying to get the signal to. If you're trying to get it, from outdoors to indoors, right? So that can be an issue. Now, if you're just trying to set up like a single point-to-point link over like an IAB, that all depends on the distance of the link, like how far they are from apart. But even if like you can only go so much, because what you run into is actually FSPL, which is your free space path loss, right? So if you go past, let's say, a mile, you have to calculate how much your free space path loss is. They can only go maybe a quarter of a mile or less, right? So in long
distance, that's more than enough.
Well, right, but you got to think of like what application we'll use that for, right? So that would only be for like an outdoor stadium.
I'll give you one right now. Connecting different corporate offices for the cheap, so they don't have to run dedicated fiber to each building to service all their employees' workstations.
You can do that if the buildings are close together.
I've done it, dude. I literally told you I did it with like half a mile worth of distance.
Yeah, a half a mile will work, but anything over a mile, you're running into huge problems. This is why it's very, very, it's not good for anything over that. That's what I'm saying. Versus, like I was mentioning earlier, the 70 to 90 gigahertz, it's above your rain fade margin, right? So you're not going to get the rain fade at that high frequency. If you're transmitting power over a long distance, and it's on the same wavelength as what your rain, you run into the same. That's why you're creating issues. You run into your rain fade. That's why they call it rain fade. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Or Pete, I got another. Or sorry, not Pete. Sorry. Zero cool. I got another instance for you where you could use this. You could use the 60 gigahertz point-to-point deployment to provide backhaul to a variety of access points.
They have to be short.
That's IAB, like you said.
Yeah,
they have to be short links.
No, but for T-Mobile's sake, I hope that you're overestimating how difficult it'll be to make 60 gigahertz work, because they don't have 800 megahertz of continuous millimeter wave like anywhere. I think there are a few exceptions, but very rarely.
No, but all the talk that's going on in the carrier space and the FCC space, they're looking at. Let me see if I can pull up an article here. They're really looking at 95 gigahertz on up. I don't think they'll go. They might do unlicensed 60, but to me, you'll never find a license. I don't think you'll never find a licensed 60 gigahertz.
Yeah, and a bit of millimeter wave discourse that I've seen a couple people mention, but no more than that, is the manufacturing costs. Are they figuring out how to bring that down? Is it because the antennas are so small, like etc.?
No, it's just the actual. How do you want to say, like, it's not the cost per se. It's actually just more of the ROI for it. Like, the reason why T-Mobile's looking at like 95 gigahertz for 5G backhaul is exactly that, right? So they don't have fiber everywhere, right? So they're going to use 95 gigahertz for IAB and applications like that. So,
and that's the hard part. The owner economics, like what gives Verizon the advantage with something like millimeter wave, is they have goals to have 50% of their native tower sites on their native fiber. And what's going to give AT&T their advantage is that they're going to have 75%. So they're going to be the most, I guess, the true owners of their network. So like if you own fiber, that's part of it. The other part is permitting. And that could be difficult. Some of these carriers have to fight these freaking NIMBYs.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that brings me to my next question. I've also not seen anybody talk about the logistical plans for getting outdoor to indoor millimeter wave repeaters deployed, because so many people are going to be against that. But if you don't have them, it's not going to work indoors.
Well, how comfortable are people, getting a bunch of passive repeaters positioned all around their neighborhood? I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but you're going to need echoes and pivots and,
Yeah,
these pivotal commware technologies that we should be seeing now, but we don't.
it's
I
really
know that
city based. Some cities like it a lot. Some cities will completely deny it. That's pretty much what I'm finding out.
I know that RFK Tech has mentioned this before. Is holographic beamforming enough to make millimeter wave work indoors, even though you can't have an outdoor to indoor repeater?
Yes. I'll tell you why. So holographic beamforming, you're pretty much using it's using, instead of like a single beam, you're using multiple beams to achieve that objective, right? So yeah, it will. I'm not sure how it's going to be like in the real world yet, because I haven't seen it in real world, but basically with holographic beamforming in MIMO, basically what you're able to do is you're using like what we call spatial beamforming, right? So basically versus a normal beam, you're able to kind of like bend, it's kind of like you can bend the beam greater. All you're doing is you're bending that massive MIMO beam where you want it to go. Think about how a holographic appears, like just a holographic, what does a holographic, thing do? We all seen it, right? Those little
It's in 3
holographics.
dimensions.
Right, yeah, 3 dimensions. Okay, so you can see those, holographic like bend. That's how pretty much how it works. You're basically, what you're doing is you're taking the antenna's radio pattern, and you're using software controls to form the beam. So you're actually using, with RF parameters, you're actually shaping the beam to where you want it to go. For example, if I want the beam to turn 10 degrees azimuth to the right and point at this building over here, bounce off this building and point at this other building over here, I'm able to do that. There's no need to physically change your antenna structure or azimuth. You're able to actually bend the beam using antenna arrays and use a kind of spectrum usage and analysis and what we call adaptive modulation. So basically, you're putting your RF what we call RF coding parameters, meaning for example, we want this beam to transmit this power, this other beam to transmit this power, and go whichever way you want. So I think it will work.
So I think the natural follow-up question to that should be, how big of a factor is processing power? Because my impression is that every single one of those bounces adds chaos.
Yes, it does. It's huge. You have to have enough you have to have enough processing, enough transmit power, and not only that, but on the receiving end as well. So you have to make sure your whoever is going to receive that signal actually has the same, if not equal, depending on what application they're going to use that for your holographic beamforming. Basically, it's you creating like let me see if I can post a link here. It's basically
isn't it like predicting the correct Doppler shift on the fly for everything?
Yeah, you can. It's like a phase shift array. That's what it's called, and it's a phase shift array that uses spatial multiplexing. Right. So basically, if you use a phase shift array, like I was explaining earlier, what you can do is you can phase shift that array using software. Okay. And you can phase shift array where you want that beam to go. All right. So with that, that becomes depending on how far you want to go. And that's going to require more transmit power and, different, more parameters. Let me paste a link in here. I can show you guys what I mean. So
while you're doing that, Zero Cool, I gotta ask JG. JG, are you back in the fold, man? Are you getting back into creating content or doing anything with videos? Oh, did we lose JG? Well, anyways, we'll see if we can get him back. But if one of my mods could,
I got a
link to
question
the.
real quick. Since we
Mhm.
have a get together of things, there's someone that I haven't talked to in a hot minute, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to invite them out here real quick.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, RFK, you want to hop on this stream, brother?
Yeah, we can get him. I can send him the link.
It's been
absolutely.
too long.
Oh, and don't forget the holographic beamforming S is for 5G. We'll use AI. And you guess what? Your phone next year, the S23 is going to use AI for just run for the hills and hide under a rock.
So,
the way I've explained it to my friends when I was info dumping to them about this is that y'all have played with bouncy balls, right? They kind of come out of the vending machines, and like you throw them at people. when you were
Yes.
kids.
No. Yeah. That's
it's
a
like
great
that.
analogy. Exactly.
that-
So
It's
So how-
millimeter
okay.
wave.
right. So what the holographic beamforming, right? So for example, how hard you throw the ball is your transmit power. Where that bounces, now think about it, it's using multiple beams, pretty much, for special multiplexing, right? So basically, where's that beam going, and who's it hitting in the face, right?
Yeah. Just visualize how hard it is to predict where that fucking bouncy ball would bounce back to. It was nearly impossible to catch, and that's why it takes so much processing power to make it work without line of sight.
That's right.
But you can. That's the important
Yeah,
part. You
absolutely. Yeah, I
can.
mean, yeah. That's the thing. Like this is going to be great because here's the other thing. With AI, it's going to be make it that much better to when you have to put in those parameters. And when it's going to actually, it's going to give you the analytics, like the KPIs, the analytics saying this beam, this multiplex beam did not bend right to where the destination is, right? So how do we fix that? So we have to, we implement things like RF range, RF, we call RF spatial pattern. We do beam edge RF parameters, right? So how far does your edge? How far does your beam reach to the edge before, it reaches to the next hop or so? So we use a lot of that. So
Sorry about that, guys. You guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hi.
we hear you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sneed, first of all, I want to thank you for getting me back on. It's been 2 years. Like I said, I haven't posted for a while, so I was gonna make a quick video, go live on my channel. Was thinking to maybe just kind of trickle in and make a couple more videos. It's been a minute, so again, it's been a pleasure having speaking with you guys all, and feel free to join me. I'm gonna head out and start the live
Yeah,
stream.
JG.
Yeah.
DM me on Twitter, man. I'll be down. Maybe not tonight because it's like 11 o'clock, but I'll hop on one of your streams sometime if you DM me on Twitter.
Yeah, and we'll push you on the community tab, and we'll promote you on Twitter. We'll get people in the know, and kind of fill them in on what you're going to be up to. For sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys so
Sure.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
JG.
Sure.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care.
Hey, Sneed, we're at the 2-hour mark, and I know you're a man of stamina, but we
I'm also a man that needs to work in the morning, man.
yeah, I mean, we covered all the topics, and I've had a very long day. I mean, I literally as soon as I got off work, I come on your stream. I'm kind of feeling it, man. You want to call this a night?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. But
Dennis, I was trying to ask that for the past 5 minutes.
yeah, that we'll wrap it up, and then actually, I'm gonna do a Patreon exclusive podcast on Sunday. So if you guys want to be a part of that, I'll be sharing the link with the Patreon community. They can join us on the panel and get involved in the conversation.
Sneed,
Or if you
feel
just
good
want to
for
be a
Thursday?
passive listener to the show, you guys can become members and support us and get some additional access, early access to videos, some other content and stuff like that I share.
Hey,
we'll be doing that Sunday night.
Hey, Sneed, do you know who will send in the super chat?
Yeah, go ahead. Hit me with it.
We got Gelbert Entertainment, our friend Gabriel, Santiago Hernandez, Zero Cool, the guy with the scallops here, Kamikaze Kid, Green, 9227, MS, and Jason D. We also have Kazi chiming in for the replay crew.
You're the best, Pete, and everybody out there for supporting us. Everybody there in the live stream, with the chat going on. Everybody who liked this video and shared it. If it's your first time here, maybe you got hit in the recommends. Consider subscribing and then turn on the bell notifications to never miss an upload. And that's it. We'll do the Sunday show on Patreon. I'd like to get you guys involved there. And actually, what we could do is we can leave that completely open, and the patrons can discuss whatever they want, and we'll see if we can get some of the guys on there. Pete, Zero Cool. We'll send out the invite, and we'll see who can make it.
Hey, Sneed, what was it? Had another thing, but I forgot it. Maybe it's not important.
I got something for you, Sneed. You going to be free Thursday, Sneed?
Depends for whom.
For me, because Stetson's going to be gone for 2 weeks. So Dashly Do, you're going to take over the Best Phone Plans channel for a week or two.
I'm ready, bro. I'll buy the Red Bull.
Depending on the time, you could toss me in for that too.
7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always, Pete. You're always.
Should we just call it an SMT takeover?
Yeah, man. It's a hostile takeover.
Depends if the wife's out at 5. That's generally when we do dinner.
Yeah, and if the crazy scallops man himself wants to come on, he's welcome too.
Sure.
We're just gonna call Zero Cool the Big Scallop from now on.
Okay.
Listen, he didn't give me a heart attack tonight. He didn't try to say nothing funny like T-Mobile trying to acquire Comcast.
Oh my
I figured I'd go easy on you tonight.
Oh, yeah. Sneed, I remember what I was gonna say. Mm-hmm. If you enjoyed listening and you want to contribute to chatting, hit that sub button we put on subscriber chat. So if you sub up tonight, you can chat next Friday if you're not on the Patreon.
That's right, brother. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Viv, for coming by as a special guest.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, Zero Cool. Yep. We had JG briefly. Who else stopped by? EM Tech was here early on in the show. I think that's everybody that we had on the show.
Hey, Steen, I have a crazy idea for you real quick.
Yeah.
If this video can get over 2,000 likes, we should do a 4-hour special.
I will have no problem doing a 4-hour special if I get 2,000 likes on this video.
So guys, you know what you have to do? You know what you have to do, right? Everyone needs to share this video on your socials. Share it with your mama, your grandma, anyone you know with a heartbeat. Share this video to them. That way they can have something good to listen to while they're on their way to work or whatever it is. And that way y'all can get a 4-hour special from the
Hold up.
Share for the bouncy balls comparison.
Didn't we have like Running Flame on here or something?
Oh yeah, yeah, man. Running Flame was here. That's true. And he's somewhere in the live chat now.
Yep, he just said cheers, all great show.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. Thanks to everybody. All my mods, hashtag mod squad, hashtag 2live crew, hashtag replay crew, hashtag help the bear, hashtag save the bear, hashtag Yogi Bear.
Let's go, boo boo.
Yep, hashtag gummy bear.
Mm-hmm. Hashtag best phone plans, hashtag where's Waldo.
Yeah, Viv, you need a new hashtag for us whenever you're on the show. So you either work on one unless you got one ready. Go.
Such Cellular, maybe?
How about proven?
I'm a huge fan of the Doge meme. I know it's stale, but I still think it's funny.
Hey, that Doge meme rocks.
It does. It's such a good naming convention, too.
Right?
Hey, it's up there with the Colbert is potato convention.
Oh, and one more thing, man. For all the guys out there, like I've been getting back into the gym. I wasn't really working out much during like my fasting and stuff, but like I'm back in there. And to all the dudes with the extra medium shirts, get a large. You know what I'm saying? You're wearing your little brother's baby shirts. Can we upgrade to like something that actually fits? You know, like seriously, dog.
You don't understand. I wear the small shirt as a bra to keep my man titties in place while I work out. Okay?
Is it really that bad?
I'm messing around with you, Sneed.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Sneed, people have been telling me that I should go to the gym to try and find a boyfriend, but if it's like that, then maybe it's not a good idea.
So if you like them with baby shirts, then yeah.
No, wait, that's her hashtag. Hashtag baby shirt.
No.
Sneed.
No.
What's the female equivalent of a Chad? What's the female equivalent of a Chad?
Stacy.
Alright, it's hashtag Stacy for you.
Hashtag Karen.
So
the way that I knew that right off the top of my head. And no. I consider service workers to be full human beings before billionaires.
I agree too. So I had to upgrade to extra large because when I started flexing in my larges, the shirts lost integrity.
I have to get 3X shirts and then have them taken in because I'm so tall, so they have to be long.
Oh, actually, I know what it should be. Vivian, don't you love AT&T?
I don't really love any of them. I personally prefer Verizon.
She
but
loves the technology.
Well, I was
Their
gonna say
corporation.
#Lily, #new Lily.
Oh gosh.
Hmm.
I
She doesn't seem
go.
too fond of that.
Except Cellular has the alliteration.
Wasn't Moose saying they were doing like a new ad campaign for a new Lily? Wasn't that a thing?
Oh, actually, if you look at the screen right now, Vivian, your tag, whatever
You
that thing
just
is,
noticed
the
that,
box.
Sneed?
No,
Yeah,
I
it's
talked about it in
literally
the private chat. I was like, what the fuck is my
Why is it
avatar doing?
twerking?
I
It's like
don't know.
gyrating
It's
right
like a
now.
twerking.
It's because she has the @ symbol in it.
It's because it knows that I can
Yeah.
twerk.
Oh, well. All right.
So
Anyways,
hold up, we got a ninja super chat in from Theodore Roberts for
Teddy.
$2 saying Sneed Telecommunications.
Well, that project's dead. The person that was supposed to be hooking them up with the
David.
gear is just went MIA on Sneed. Wait, why are we laughing?
Because David hashtagged simped him.
Oh, God.
Man, ain't no simping, pimping. All right, guys. We're going to close out the show. Thanks for that last second buzzer beater super chat. You guys are the best. Thanks for being here. Thank you for watching. And we out this piece.
Peace.